why don't we turn the clock back to Saturday? Hit us with a little college football, hot or cold here.
Yeah, man. Look, as Notre Dame fans, I think we can both admit that it was nice because by the end of the first quarter, we were able to go do whatever our wives needed us to do for the day because there was no reason for us to watch the rest of that game. Fantastic game. Notre Dame, I mean, what, 3 scores without even taking an offensive snap? It was ridiculous. Yes. Absolutely insane. But it lead me to this. Jeremiyah Love should be the Heisman winner. And the only reason he won't be is because he's not a quarterback. Hot or cold, Pat?
Hot. He absolutely should be the Heisman winner, and I agree. He's a running back, so you know what? Oh, it's a quarterback's award. Not so much like the NFL MVP, but Jeremiyah Love has got 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns on the season. He had a Heisman caliber campaign last year, and he had 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. He is smashing those numbers out of the water. He is clearly the best running back in the country. And my man Jeremiyah Love, look out. When you hear his name get called in the first 10 overall picks of the NFL draft in April, don't be surprised because he is a game changer. Love is everywhere. Jeremiyah Love should be the Heisman winner. That's no disrespect to Fernando Mendoza, but Love, there's nobody that has more of an impact with the ball in their hands than Notre Dame's running back.
Yeah, hot. I totally agree. Look, I think Fernando Mendoza is, again, going to hoist the hardware there in the Heisman ceremony here in short order. And Jeremiyah Love is deserving of an invite. He's very deserving of winning that coveted award. But it will be a popularity contest. Usually goes to the poster boy of the quarterback position, and that is going to be Mendoza this year because the Indiana feel-good story. And I agree. I mean, he has been monumental, whether you're looking at the superficial numbers or some of the advanced data that is out there. Pro Football Focus, he's one of the elites in yards after contact per attempt, one of the elites in missed tackle rate as well. That ultimately means he is going to transfer and transition very seamlessly to the NFL level. Is he going to be a guy that's going to be a top 10 pick overall? We will have to wait and see how the cards stack up and where they fall and what the area team needs are. Very few teams are willing to spend that high kind of draft capital. And then with Ashton Genty not exactly panning out the way that the Raiders had hoped, I think Love could maybe slip a little bit later in the draft. And I'm praying, and Brando knows this, I am praying that he is a member of Bear Down Chicago Bears. Oh, that would be so amazing. I love wound up in the Windy City and the Bears. They'd be unstoppable. And Pat, you would have to reassess maybe the Bears being a Super Bowl team or at least a contender next year.
If Jeremiyah Love gets drafted by the Bears, they're a Super Bowl contender. And I look, my hands are tied. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I think Jeremiyah Love goes top 5. I really do. I don't think he gets past that. There's a couple teams that are going to be picking in the top 5 that already have their quarterbacks. It's not a very quarterback-heavy class. So I think Jeremiyah Love goes higher, but we'll see. I would love Jeremiyah Love in a Bears uniform. All right.
I see what you did.
Next up, the best 5 teams in the country currently are Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, and Notre Dame. Fight me. Hot or cold, Brad?
I am cold on that. I got a pair of brass knuckles. I'll meet you at the Monkey Bars at 3 p.m. Let's go. Let's throw down right now. Look, I'm a biter, so be prepared. I will break out all the necessary moves if possible. You've got about... oh, no, wait a minute. You got Indiana in there. Okay, I glossed over Indiana. I rescind that. All the negative stuff I said. I threatened pugilism against you, violence against you, and I'm sorry. I misread that and misheard you. I totally agree. Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame. They are the 5 best teams in the country. So I stand back and I stand tall with you, my friend. You are correct in your assessment.
No. I don't know. How did you not have Ohio State in there? They're the number 1 team in the country. They're undefeated. They haven't lost all season. How do you not have the Buckeyes in there, Brandon? Look, I'm a Notre Dame homer and an insufferable Notre Dame fan just as much as anybody else. They don't even belong in the top 7, brother. I mean, look, Notre Dame, I think that they can show it in December. I think Marcus Freeman has proven he's a hell of a coach in big games. Notre Dame, they don't have any impressive wins. They beat USC and they beat Pitt. They lost to A&M and they lost to Miami. Now, again, first 2 weeks of the season, completely different than what happens in December. And look, Notre Dame proved that last year when they lost to Northern Illinois and then went to the title game. However, what we've seen so far, Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, the 3 undefeated teams, you have to have them in there. Georgia's got the most impressive wins of the season, in my opinion. You can't have Bama in there. You can't. You can't have Bama in there. They've lost to Oklahoma. They got crushed back in week 1 against Florida State. So if I'm going to penalize Notre Dame for that, I got to penalize Alabama. Like, Ole Miss belongs in the top 5 over Alabama. Texas Tech belongs in the top 5 over Alabama. Absolutely. I will fight you, and I will bite you for Brad, and I will break your limbs, and I will put you in the hospital.
Alabama has 4 top 15 wins despite the loss to Oklahoma. They've got the most impressive resume of anybody in college football. So I don't want to hear, oh, they lost to Oklahoma or, oh, they lost to Florida State. Yeah, they're a 2-loss team, but they have played a gauntlet of a schedule. And don't get me wrong, I never argue for SEC or poor Alabama. I'm not that guy. But this year, that resume, I would argue for any team in the country, regardless of their name, to be in the top 5 because of that resume alone. And they're 8-2. Absolutely. And you want to talk about why didn't I have Ohio State in there? You know, why? You talk about no impressive wins for Notre Dame. Where are we going to talk about for Ohio State? The win against Grambling, the win against Ohio, the win against Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers. Are you kidding me? They played the Perkins School for the Blind, for the Christ's sakes. Jeez, crow. What are we talking about?
Funny that you left out the number 1 team in the country, no matter how bad Arch Manning looked in that game. Yes, they were the number 1 team in the country.
Preseason number 1 team in the country that ended up like ranked 17th by week 3. Stop it. My
playing
goodness.
the Big Ten. We're gonna say the Big Ten is a cupcake conference now. It's their fault that Penn State turned into Turd Nation. It's their fault that Michigan's not that good this year. Although we'll see if they can finally beat them at the Big House.
Is it Notre Dame's fault that the teams that they're playing aren't good? Notre Dame's fault that Boise State, who was a playoff team last year, isn't good? Notre Dame's fault?
Notre Dame's got 2 losses.
All right, then. So it's the same argument. We could go back and forth all day long. But you know what? We're going to meet later on the show with Things Boyle Said, and we're going to argue about this. But we're going to continue with hot and cold right now.
Can't wait.
There will be 3 major upsets this weekend in college football that will shake up the college football playoff. Michigan's going to beat Ohio State. Texas is going to beat Texas A&M. And Washington is going to beat Oregon. Hot or cold, Pat?
I will go cold, but I will say lukewarm, but mostly cold. I think there could be one. I think Arch Manning, once again, playing at his best at home in Austin. I think the Longhorns could absolutely win that game against A&M. Marcel Reed and A&M, they have been a great squad. They've been a great team, but they have flirted with danger so many times this year. South Carolina down 30-3, and they had to come all the way back. They are ripe for the picking in this game. And can Arch Manning play consistent football like he has the last several weeks? I think yes. I think Texas wins that game. Look, I mean, sooner or later, Ohio State's got to exercise the demon. So unless Michigan's defense forces 4 turnovers of Julian Sayin, I can't expect at this point after 11 games that all of a sudden he's going to look like a freshman. He's played well. I think Ohio State wins. They go 12-0. And I think Dante Moore and Oregon go on the road and they beat Washington. Like the light just turned out behind me. I think the lights get turned out on the Huskies, even though Seattle is a very incredibly difficult place to play. And I think that could be a 1-score game. I think the only upset that happens is the Longhorns over the Aggies.
And I concur with you on that one. I think there will be one upset. I think it's the exact upset that you threw out there. And you look at some of the advanced data that is currently available on CFB graphs, and they really kind of agree with it. Actually, they give Texas more than a reasonable shot of winning that game at 43.3% as a win probability. Why? Because that Texas defense has been outstanding all season long. They're top 20 in the country in EPA per play D. Offensively, can Arch Manning and company show up? We shall see. But A&M, you've said it before. I mean, they played with their food way too many times, and they have not really been dealt a bad hand as of yet. They have found where there's a will, there's a way, and gotten the dub. But, their good luck could turn a negative and on the bad side at this time, Brian. It's going to come down the bitter end. Maybe it's a pick six. Maybe it's a scoop and score. Some kind of miscue for A&M is going to lead to a hook 'em horns victory. Do it for McConaughey. All right. I like Texas this weekend. But 3, get the hell out of here with that nonsense, Brando. That's not going to be happening at all. That is extremely far-fetched. And Ohio State may win by 50 to exercise some demons from last year.
When I hit that 25-1 parlay, Brad, I'll send you the ticket. All right.
Okay. Yeah, do it.
That's funny. That's funny that you said that, because I was thinking on Sunday with the football slate, I was like, man, there are 3 double-digit 13-point dogs. I was like, it feels like 2 of these 3 teams will win. And now, granted, none of them won, but the Jets did lead. The Jets, they hang the banner at the end of the season. First half lead against the very mediocre-looking Ravens, and we know the Giants should have won that game. And look, see, and the Titans made it a game. They covered. They did cover. I think 2 out of the 3 covered. The Jets still didn't find a way to cover. But, I think you are crazy for thinking that there are going to be more than 1, let alone 3 upsets this weekend.
On.
Ohio State can't beat Michigan. They've proven it year after year. They can't beat Michigan.
You're Ohio State hater.
To talk about that. I'm not Ohio State.
You're going to wax them this year.
All right.
I think you are.
All right. Here we go.
The Irish
we already talked about Lane Kiffin.
I hate them as much as you do, but let's be realistic.
I don't hate Ohio State. I really don't. All right. Retaining Mike Norvell was the right move for Florida State despite the struggles the last 2 years. Hot or cold? Brad?
I don't think this was necessarily the right move. I'm kind of puzzled by it. I saw that come down the chute today. Obviously, a guy that's been a bit of a letdown. So, retaining Mike Norvell was a right move for Florida State. I am cold on that. I think they had to turn the page. I mean, you might want to say, some coaches, they need a little bit longer of a leash to build the program, to institute and get everything they can into place and make sure that, schematically, they're going to be okay. But this is the NIL era. You're Florida State. You got a colossal bag. You should be winning a minimum of 8 games every single stinking season. You should be ranked. You should be vying for the college football playoff at a standing overall, given the rich tradition at that school. So, Norvell get it done. I know it's only a couple seasons. I mean, you'll probably get 1 more season at most. But having them come back in resounding fashion for year number 3, that was a bit baffling in my opinion. I think they should have moved on.
Yeah, I'll disagree here only because, and maybe the brass at Florida State feels the same, but I feel bad that Mike Norvell never got that chance with Jordan Travis suffering that gruesome leg injury a couple of years ago, and the Seminoles looked like one of the best teams in the country, and they looked like they maybe could have plucked off one of the top 2 teams that year, and then Jordan Travis goes down, and they say, you know what, the 12-team college football playoff that you'll be in next year, you're not in this one because it's still only 4 teams. Enjoy getting beaten by 60 points by Georgia in the bowl game. And then that's what happened. So, look, I think that in this very trigger-happy era of college football we're in, where coaches are getting fired left and right now, look, he's got 1 more year to prove it. If he doesn't figure it out, if they're 5-7 next year, he's gone. If they're 6-6 next year, he's gone. But I think Mike Norvell has at least earned 1 more chance here for Florida State. They've got to try to build some consistency, and in the ACC, you can do that. So I like that they held on to him.